Starting your show with a beach episode? Power move. Imagine working on your dream show for over 10 years, pitching your show over and over, getting rejection after rejection, and then finally, you get picked up by Glitch. So like that, the trailer for Gameoverse drops.
Bongo Raptor! We collected all 6 of the missing vowels.
Bongo Raptor!
People were unsure about it. Some people were excited, but many were skeptical. Some people were even calling it derivative before the first episode had even come out. But now that the pilot is finally here, I think we can safely say that this thing is great. And it seems like most people that saw this pilot really enjoyed it and want more. At least I want more. It's gotten 10 million views in like 3 days. The response has been overwhelmingly positive, which is awesome to see because you can feel how much passion got poured into this thing. But of course, this is the internet, and there were a lot of people that went right to hating on the show, and I want to talk about those criticisms before I get into why I loved this pilot. But really quickly, I would like to shout out Makai the art guy for designing my new version of Teddy, which I absolutely love. We've got poses now. It's great. Please check out Makai and support him, follow his page. He's awesome. Now let's get into the video. So Gameoverse is a multiverse where a bunch of different games are different worlds. Once the hero of any of these games beats their game, the game ends and the world around it destroys. It's kind of a play on the idea of a game over, which is usually where you die in a game, but in a way, beating a game is also a game over. The show introduces Kit and Caboodle, the main characters, and the show starts with Kit and Caboodle beating their game and their world destroying around them. Honestly, I think most of the criticism isn't really fair, and I don't care about it, to be honest. The first complaint I've seen is that the writing lacks depth, which I agree and disagree. It's a pilot. It has the task of setting up the whole world, all of the characters, and getting you hooked. Most pilots just don't have enough time to really dig into the core of what the story is getting at, but the amount of world building and characters that are introduced in 30 minutes, I think really says a lot about the show. Setting up all of that and making it intriguing and compelling in one episode is really good. You gotta give them some time to cook with these things, man. It's episode 1. And if I'm being honest, the people that are complaining about the writing seem to forget that the worst episode in all of the Amazing Digital Circus is the pilot. While the writing of the Amazing Digital Circus as a whole is really great, the first episode is really lacking. I mean, seriously, go back and watch the pilot for the Amazing Digital Circus if you haven't in a while. It's honestly mostly just really cringy, with a couple good moments sprinkled in there. And to be clear, I am not above cringe. I mean, I'm a grown man reviewing web cartoons from his closet. I just get less echo in here. I just think it's really unfair to call the writing in Gameoverse lackluster. Honestly, I think that pilot overall is better than the Amazing Digital Circus's pilot, which is Glitch's flagship series at the moment, and has some of the best writing I've seen in any animated show ever. Just please support Gameoverse and give them some time to cook, because I think this could be really great. Another criticism of the show is that it's just Digital Circus again, which is stupid. Just because a show takes place in like a video game world doesn't mean that it's the Digital Circus again. On top of that, the themes that they're going to explore in this are completely different from the Amazing Digital Circus's themes. By the looks of it, this show is going to be talking about what does it mean to do the right thing and how do you know you're doing the right thing. The heroes of the show originally thought they were doing the right thing, and it just ended in destroying their world. Sometimes you try and do the right thing and bad things happen. Intent is not always equal to consequence. It's a brutal and very true thing about life that most people experience. Trying to do the right thing, but ultimately causing negative outcomes for you and the ones around you. And I've just been sitting thinking about all the potential worlds they could visit and how that might challenge their worldview. Like, if they go to a world that's so messed up and the villain is so evil he has the whole world enslaved, are they still gonna wanna help the villain? I think there's a really interesting potential to challenge these ideas and explore them throughout the show, and I really wanna see more of it. And the last big criticism is about the character designs, and that the female characters look too similar compared to the male cast, which has more varied and exaggerated character designs. I think this criticism is kinda dumb. Anyone who thinks all the women characters look identical are completely ignoring Crap Girl.
Oh yeah, I'm Crab Girl.
With that all out of the way, let's talk about the things that I liked about this show. Or should I say, loved. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't seen it already, you need to just watch it, because this show is awesome. Let's talk about why I loved it.
It was perfect. Perfect.
The way this show references and pays homage to classic video games is awesome. They aren't just Easter eggs, they're mostly inspiration and homages.
What?
It's also the character designs. All of the characters have fun and mostly video game inspired character designs that just work so well. From Kit and Caboodle being a Mega Man / Ratchet and Clank Banjo-Kazooie type of character with maybe a little bit of Sonic energy in there, to Dusk being just straight up Alucard. I heard a lot of people saying that he looks like Sephiroth, but come on, this is Alucard. For any of the non-knowers, Alucard is Dracula's son from the Castlevania games and is the hero of his journey. And Alucard is just Dracula backwards. Alucard and Dracula look similar, it could be Dracula, but I really think that most likely this is Alucard, and he's probably just the leader because he's a badass and he beat a Castlevania game, which are notoriously difficult. Another thing I really loved was the voice cast. Everybody here kills it. I'd like to specifically shout out JSchlatt because he freaking nailed it. At first, I couldn't get over the fact that it was JSchlatt. And it kind of broke the immersion for me while I was watching the show, but about halfway through I forgot about the fact that it's JSchlatt and just enjoyed the character Caboodle as Caboodle. And I don't think that would have happened if JSchlatt was a chump at voice acting. I think he did a good job. Outside of JSchlatt, you have Erica Lindbeck, Aaron Hansen, Chris Sabat, Elsie Lovelock, Michael Cusack, Ross O'Donovan, who is the creator of the show, and the esteemed voice actor Matt Watson as Crab Girl.
Oh yeah, I'm Crab Girl.
Seriously, this show has a great voice cast and some really big names, honestly. Aaron Hansen and Ross O'Donovan being big standouts for me just because I grew up watching Game Grumps. But one of my favorite things about this pilot was the rewatch value, because the second it ended, the first thing we did was rewatch it. And on rewatch, it was just as good, if not better, because we had some interesting context. And the last thing I really liked about the show is the trailer is basically episode 0, featuring a moment that leads into episode 1. That's just a really cool way to add a little extra content with the trailer. All in all, I loved this show. If you're like me and you want to see more, go support it. Watch the pilot, buy the merch, because selfishly, I want to see more of it. So support the show.